Hello, all. Welcome to Hockey Tap Podcast. I'm your host, Bill Dean. I'm, of course, here with my two co-hosts, Schwim, Steven. Shorts guy's finishing a bar, drinking under a bar, making a bar. I don't know. He's doing something with a bar.
All of the above.
All of the above. We are brought to and this is episode 242. Apologies. We're brought to you by Prime Time Radio, courtesy of Mr. Sam Wu. And you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please leave a 5-star review if be ever so kind. Gentlemen, what are you drinking?
I am drinking the last of my Nolet's bottle.
Nolet's.
Nolet's. It's I want to say it's Nole. It just seems like it would be Nole because that sounds proper, but I'm pretty sure it's Scottish. I'm pretty sure it's Scottish. So
Nolets.
now, if I could only find Nolans, I don't know where the hell this is.
Nolans. Real quick, Dogfish again. Finally finishing. I think this is the last of the summer pack that I have. The cool. Yes.
This guy just keeps drinking the same thing every 50
hours.
hours.
Sitting in my fridge for a while. This is the only time I drink, really.
It's from Holland.
Isn't that weird?
This is a Dutch. Sprick is the Deutsch.
It's a nice bottle.
Penning's Cold Crash. Always very delicious. All right, guys, let's get to what's on tap for today's episode. Here's a weekly snapshot. The NHL draft. And, well, the beginning of it sucked with the whole Bieber thing. And
it was annoying. It was way too long. That whole thing with him.
Deion Dawkins try to, rustle up the crowd when most of it was Toronto Maple Leafs fans. Was pretty funny. And, yeah, just Bieber, just come on, say his name, introduce him, and then get off the stage because no one really cares about it. It went on far too long. It
went way too long.
But after that, McKenna and Stenberg going to 3, obviously with Caleb Malhotra. We'll actually do the first one. Obviously, we all thought and knew McKenna was going to be number 1 pick. He is not a savior by any means, but he's a very good player, especially if you put him on a wing with, Austin Matthews. I think that he could be a Marner-esque player for him. He's not going to play defense, but he will at least provide offense. So that could be an interesting little, scenario that they play with, or maybe it's Nylander, whoever they're going to do. Then Stenberg, and the winner of this draft to me was San Jose Sharks. They get arguably the best player in the draft in Stenberg. He was thought of as 1A, 1B with McKenna. And then at 9, they get Keaton Verhoff, who just last year was thought of as possibly the number 1 pick this year alone. And he just had a bad draft year in terms of points and how people saw him, but his underlying metrics were awesome. He was the youngest defenseman in the NCAA last year, and he had 20-plus goals in a college season, which is crazy. Like, he had legitimately a very good season, and he's just going to get better. And then finally they grab, and this was actually scary, and Steven, maybe you've read a little about this, but Ryan Lynn was sitting there, and Phillies was the pick, and then after that was Pittsburgh. And everyone was saying Ryan Lynn is the pick for Pittsburgh. And San Jose jumps him and grabs Ryan Lynn, and I'm like, they murdered this draft. Because Ryan Lynn could be a top 5 defenseman in this draft. He is that good. Offensive talent, like they just grabbed 2 of the best defensemen in the draft. And then later on, they get one of the better goaltenders, and they grab the 7'1" behemoth from Russia, Moldova. To round it out, and they were massive winners. A+++. Like, you get the smiley face and the whole big stuff. But what was your guys' thoughts on the first few picks, and then we can get into the later ones and who we think overall won?
It's crazy that San Jose was able to make out the way that they did by being a fringe playoff team with the best young player in the league right now currently on the roster. And some other good young pieces. I do hope Askarov becomes something, but we'll see. Because that would have been good for them to have, like the Celebrini, the Will Smith, the who's their defender they got there?
Sam Dickinson. Are you talking about prospects wise?
No, I have a good young defenseman, already on the
San Jose.
roster. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Anyway, so it's looking bright, but like, yeah, going back to the Ryan Lynn thing, that's speculation. Is that Pittsburgh was eyeballing him and that they were going to take him. I mean, that's the reason why I'm assuming why San Jose jumped that pick there to get him is because that. But as far as Pittsburgh's draft, I'm relatively okay with it. I like the Twins is a cool story. Number one, number two, neither pick was a stretch. They both went either slightly later or
Slightly before.
slightly later or slightly later or slightly or basically around when they were projected to go in the draft.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, they're obviously a project. You're not going to see them for probably 3 years, probably. And then they did draft some overage defensemen, which I'm okay with also because that kind of almost fast tracks, especially for defensemen, it almost fast tracks them more to the NHL. They usually probably go back. I think both of them I think they're both in college, maybe. Can't remember. And then one plays in Czech, and apparently speaks zero English. And there's no Czechs on the Penguins team, so that's not going so well. But
not in the organization either.
No, there's no. I don't think there's any Czechs in the organization. But yeah, good. So they can, they'll play another season wherever they are, and probably come right into Wilkes-Barre in a year. So, I think that's pretty good. And I think they ended up drafting a goaltender with their last pick. So that's always, who knows. So, Belarusian goaltender.
Just quickly on San Jose, they have Mario Ferraro, who's a free agent. They have Michael Kesselring. They have Klingberg, They have Nick Leddy, Shakir Muhammadulin, Orlov, and Sam Dickinson. So no one.
Right. Sam Dickinson's their youngest.
Yeah, but he's more of a defensive player, not an offensive.
I think that's
threat.
what they're going to address this offseason. They're going to try to get some D guys
well,
in there.
They got Kesselring. They brought Kesselring, which was
a
great.
Good signing for them.
Yeah.
That was a trade, right?
Yeah, they traded for him and signed him, right? They just extend him. He was already under a contract.
I'll have to look at that.
Or was he?
No, they can't extend yet. They can't extend until January 1st.
Not until the 1st, yeah. So maybe, I don't know.
I'm just looking. Apparently, there's reports that are coming out that Friedman just said Werenski is unlikely to waive his no-trade clause for San Jose. So I guess San Jose inquired, and Sharks Inc. newly acquired Michael Kesselring to a 3-year deal. So maybe they just announced it. They can't actually do it until the 1st.
Yeah, maybe it's not technically not signed. It kind of like they sort of announced Vladar re-signing with Philadelphia, but technically you can't sign until the 1st or extend until the 1st.
Alexander
Kermanov, the tallest player ever drafted to the NHL.
No, Vladar can extend. Vladar can be extended or re-signed.
I think it's extended because they can't.
Yeah, so extended.
If
he still has,
but they can announce it basically, but just like he's not going to sign it until the 1st. Yeah, so I think that's what they did with him. That kid, that Moldovan kid, first ever player from Moldova drafted, and obviously the tallest player ever drafted. So he had 2 records. I'm like, he is probably never going to play, but it's pretty damn awesome.
Never.
It's pretty cool. He needs to work on his skating a lot.
Yeah, he's not a good skater at all, apparently. Also this draft, apparently it set a record for the amount of goaltenders drafted. It's the most goalies ever drafted. And it was like 32 or something like that, or 30.
Second round was nuts.
Mid-30s. I'm like, how's this draft yielding the most goalie picks? I didn't see that coming.
And I'm pretty sure I saw that there was like 20 of them, or 20, something crazy number was like Czech goalies, or no, it was where were they? It was they were like, oh man, I'm trying to find what this is. Anyways, keep going. I'll find out what it was before.
So the couple things like that. Getting back, I guess, to the earlier picks, even though the guy kind of slid, Chase Reed, sliding all the way down to, what was it, 9 or something? Whatever, in Seattle was like, thank you very much.
Oh, no,
so
7.
Seattle, 7? No, I thought it was later than that, no?
No, it was 7.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, he slid. He was supposed to be like the first defenseman off the board, and he was the third or fourth.
He was the 4th.
Yeah, so there you go.
It went Jackson, Rudolph, Albert Smits, Carols, Reed, Bjork, and then Verhoff.
That's crazy. No, not Verhoff. Yeah. Reed. Oh, Verhoff was 5?
No.
5th?
It went, first pick was McKenna, second pick Stenberg, third pick Malholtra. Then
yes,
you had,
I know that. I'm talking about
Rudolph. Yeah, so you had Rudolph go, then Smits, then Carols, then Reed, and then finally Verhoff. Okay, so but I was 4th. Saying Bjork was 8 and Verhoff was 9.
Yeah, that's crazy. All these guys slid, but so they had just based on that, like Seattle had a good draft that guy slid to them.
Yeah,
he could have been like 3 or 4 in the draft. He could have gone to like Vancouver.
He could have been number 1.
Yeah, he's a really good puck moving,
defenseman,
skating defenseman. So Seattle finally got a decent player, but I don't know what Seattle's problem is. Nobody wants to go there. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, it does kind of suck. They have a lot.
And everyone, like all this stuff is always in the media. You always see these guys turning down. The biggest one, obviously, Jason Robertson refusing to go there. Like everyone in the league sees that and be like, like
wasn't there another team?
Yeah, St. Louis too. He kiboshed.
I think I don't know that so much that Seattle. I think it's like these players want to go to who's going to win the Stanley Cup next year.
Yeah,
that's what it seems to be.
One, you don't want to go all the way west,
or no tax, you want to go, or no tax team,
but that's going to change in a couple of years. So maybe that was part of it, and also, he wants to go to a good team. He doesn't want to go and waste away in Seattle for however long that deal was. But I think Elliot Friedman reported it was something like 3 first-round picks and a young player off the team.
For what? Which one was this again? Sorry.
What's his face? Robertson.
A precedent. I think a precedent was set with Bowen Byram, which I think was one of the most ridiculous hauls for a pretty. He's one of the more prettiest defenseman in the league.
He's a good defenseman. I'll say he's a good player. But he's
good.
He's not like the type of player that you would think would yield this kind of like 2 first rounds and a second or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, so it's 2 first rounds.
The 4th overall pick. The 4th overall pick.
I expect that for like a top defensive player in the league. Not
Werenski.
Byram's good.
Werenski would be a 4th overall.
That trade
not Bowen Byram.
That's gonna be a monster.
Werenski's gonna probably get what Kachuk got, which is 3 firsts and maybe something else. They're obviously Chicago, and it's a dumb trade. I 100% agree. They're obviously hoping that his offensive ceiling, which has not been tapped into yet, is what will make him worth that, right? Because he's been playing behind Makar, and then he played behind.
Yeah, he's never been like the top.
He's
guy
never been the number 1
anywhere. Yeah,
and then
so he's gonna be a top guy in Chicago.
You can say the same thing for Owen Power in Buffalo, also. Like that would that's a potential wasted asset right there for Buffalo as well, because he gets no power play time, none.
Yeah, and then they draft Daxon Rudolph, who's also a power play guy. So they were suggesting, hey, maybe this is the eventual successor. Maybe Rudolph's the successor for Dahlin when you can't afford him. So, anyways, there were 8 Russian goalies, 6 Czechs, which was the most ever for Czechia. And then Canada had 5, US 5, Slovakia 2, Belarus, Finland, Latvia, Sweden, and Denmark. All right. So Daxon Rudolph goes to Buffalo, which was a little bit of a surprise at 4. Rangers, who have Chase Reed sitting there, they take Albert Smits. Obviously Albert Smits, they're defensemen, right? There was a clear top 2 in the tiers, and that was McKenna and Stenberg. And then you had this tier from 3 to about 10, 12 of just a bunch of pick your poison kind of guys. Rudolph and Smits and Carls and Reed and Bjork and Verhoff, and you start to add Caleb Malholtra and a couple other guys. So they take Smits because he's a little more NHL ready. They do kind of expect him to be there at camp and competing for a spot. Then Carls goes to Calgary. Seattle gets the luck of the draw with Chase Reed. You have Viggo Bjork, the small center, going to Winnipeg. Verhoff at 9, and then 10 is finally Wyatt Cullen. Thank God Wyatt Cullen went 10 because I was really nervous that the Devils would get him. And instead, the Devils take Alex Command, who I was on the podcast with Sam on the morning or the Woo report, and Devils fans were not happy. And I've been watching a lot more ever since the Rangers started sucking. I've been watching prospects. And I like Alex Command. He's a 2-3 center. Like, he's clearly the 4th, 5th, maybe best center in the draft.
He's a poor man's Heischer.
Yeah, and that's a good 3C.
And Heischer's a poor man's Bergeron. But
yes.
So you got a poor man's poor man's, but
poor man's poor man. I like it. Yeah, it was okay, right? It wasn't a smashing pick. Like the same thing with the Rangers. It wasn't smashing. It was just solid. I know that Devils fans wanted a Klepov or a Belshitz or Morozov. They wanted someone, a little more talented. But, the guy like that, Wyatt Cullen, did not fall to them, and they made the safe pick, which was Alexander Command.
Yeah, and that spot, they picked 12, right, or 11?
12. Devils 12.
Yeah, so that's, that area is such a, especially because the picks, I feel like picks 12 to 17, they seem like they're good high picks, but that's such a gray area of just
it's
who the hell knows what these guys are going to pan out to be. And case in point, and not to brag, I'm not going to say he's because he's still obviously maturing and growing, so we don't know what the player he's going to be. But look at Ben Kindle, who was, when Pittsburgh drafted him at 11 last year, the pick was torn apart by pundits saying that the kid can't skate. He's not. It's a major stretch. He should have went in the late 20s, and he makes the NHL and has for all things considered, very good first rookie year with 18 goals. I think 18 goals and 18 assists. So you look at it that way. I mean, you look at a player who, I mean, and all of these people like to follow. Everybody is a prospects analyst now. Mm-hmm. Just like everybody is in the trade rumors. Everybody's this, that, because they read this, they read. So whoever's friggin' writing out of their grandma's basement, right in Toronto, uploading whatever, and just all the clickbait BS. And then all of a sudden, everybody thinks that they're an expert on these prospects. And with the exception of year in and year out, with the exception of 3, we'll call it 3, a safe number, 3 players, nobody has any idea how these kids are going to pan out. None.
No.
You have, guys that are drafted in the 7th
kids.
round. You have, Patrick Hornqvist was the last pick of his draft and went on to win 2 Stanley Cups and a very good career. So you literally have no idea. And some of these superstars are found late. I mean, Tampa's got, Kucherov, and Vasilevsky was a first-round pick, and so was Hedman. But, they had Braden, Point was he second-round pick?
Point was second round, yep. Sorelli,
Cooch,
second round.
Yeah.
Cooch, yeah. So Cooch, they didn't say his name right. They called him Dmitry Kucherov. Drafted.
So you really have no idea. I mean, you take it for what it is, and hindsight, whoever you pick, there's probably a good chance there was somebody later that was better. And there's probably somebody that was picked before you who's worse. So that's just kind of how it is. Unless you have the first overall pick, unless you're, Edmonton. With Nail Yakupov or the poor Flyers with Nolan
Patrick.
Nolan.
Nolan Patrick, yeah. That sucked for them. And him.
There's been a lot of them.
Yeah. Or Hugh.
So
you don't even know how McKenna was doing. Maybe McKenna's
he was a 13th round pick. 13th pick.
Maybe McKenna's going to suck playing for Toronto because the team is, the Maple Leafs.
Yeah,
we don't know.
There was literally there was nothing in any of his play that made us believe that Nail Yakupov was going to end up the way that he did.
Yeah,
going into that draft.
Yeah, and, the kid did well. He befriended the owner's son. That's what got him that pick. But yeah, no one thought he'd be one of the biggest busts in NHL history. Yeah, so obviously, the draft continues to unfold. Utah takes Belshitz. Ryan Lynn, San Jose. You had Rux go to Pitt, obviously, as Steven talked about before. A couple of good picks, later in the round. Hextall to Calgary and Tommy Blyle to Nashville. Schwim, you guys get a lovely lovely forward at the end of the first.
Nope, but go ahead.
No. It was pick 20. Oh, sorry, end of the second. My bad.
Thank you.
Oleg Kulabaikin, or whatever you want to say his name.
Yeah, I have no idea how to pronounce his name. I haven't tried.
Kulabaikin, whatever. Talented, but as I saw one person say, capital SOFT, soft. So, yeah.
Don't nobody call me soft.
No one knows how any of these players are going to turn out.
They have, first of all, Tampa never has any draft picks. He's going to play. I think is one of the kids they drafted. I don't know if it was him or another one is playing at UMass. Next year.
That's him. The goaltender. No, the goaltender. I think.
No, the goalie is. Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew it was one of them. I didn't know which one it was. I heard that he was playing at UMass, but this kid, whatever. They were showing like highlights of him. He's a very creative puck handling. Good puck handling, good mitts on him. We'll see where it goes. Like again, like all these guys, you never know what they're going to pan out to be. You could pan out to be nothing. He can pan out to be a role player, or sometimes you hit with somebody late or in a second round, and look what happened. Kucherov, like we said before, second round pick, and look what the hell he's turned into. You never know.
Yeah.
Marty St. Louis, undrafted.
Marty, yeah. There you go. Undrafted players going to the Hall of Fame. The last pick in the draft wasn't Rene the last pick in the draft, also, or a very late pick. He's a. I know
Hornquist was for.
I don't know. Maybe he wasn't last, but I think he was like the last round at least.
I think Gensel was Gensel was either a second round or third round pick. I can't remember.
Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely not a first, but yeah, look at him. Look at his freaking career so far.
Yeah.
So not all first rounders, and look, there's like we said, undrafted players that do very well. Friggin' Darren Radish just got paid. He's had one good season. He's undrafted, 30 years old, and just got paid big time.
Yeah.
Life-changing money by Toronto.
Capital P. Also, what made the draft exciting was a bunch of trades and some really big ones. First started off with JJ Peterka from Utah in exchange for 2 firsts, one in 2026 and one in 2028. That kind of set the market as...
I wonder why Utah's just like, nah, we've had enough. 1 year. Nah.
1 year.
Yeah, I don't.
We're good.
Yeah, he didn't have a great year. And they don't know why.
And they still got a bundle for him. 2 first-round picks for him. Yeah. Even if he had a miserable year, you'd think his stock would be lower, but I guess not. Maybe he'll play better in the East. We'll see.
It's possible. I mean, I think also his obviously his new coach is Czech. He's Czech, so maybe that helped. Oh, sorry, German.
No, Peterka's German.
Yeah. German. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, so is Sturm.
Yeah,
Sturm. Marco Sturm. Yeah. So maybe that helps out. And like you said, playing against maybe the Buffalo Sabres a couple times will piss him off. Owen Zellweger went from Anaheim to Buffalo, which was a great deal for Buffalo, getting Zellweger for essentially a second, and Anton Wahlberg. What
are they doing? What are they doing with their defense core? Zellweger's a defenseman,
Buffalo?
right?
Yeah, defenseman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they got rid of Kesselring.
They got rid of Kesselring and Bowen Byram, but like and now they're in the same position. Like Zellweger should be they have a lot of guys who should be top pairing that aren't top pairing, and I feel like it's kind of just it's a weird dynamic. I don't really get Buffalo. I don't really know where Buffalo is going to go next season, but like they just keep. You think they're like making room for something, but then they keep replacing one player with the same player.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have the better players on my third line, but yeah, I mean, you got Rasmus Dahlin.
I'm not going to fault them for trading Bowen Byram and getting the friggin' 4th overall pick. Like, I would take that in a heartbeat. But then you go ahead and you get a Zellweger to replace, I guess, a Bowen Byram, and it's just like, okay, now you still have a defenseman that's going to be underutilized. At least one.
Yeah, I mean, your 2 top pairs are going to be Dahlin, Matthias Samuelsson, and then you're going to have Power and Zellweger, and then your bottom pair is going to be a Connor Timmins, Logan Stanley, Luke Shen, maybe,
if they don't trade Power's been rumored out there to be available.
I've seen that. And then they draft, obviously, the heir apparent in Daxon Rudolph, so some good.
Maybe he makes the team out of camp. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. You had Utah trade for goalie Sebastian Kosa. They got a first-round pick. Detroit did. I like Kosa, and they still don't seem to have the goalie situation nailed down, so I would have probably held on to Kosa and see which of the 3 goalie prospects they have actually takes off.
Yeah.
But that's Yzerman, doing his Yzer plan.
I think they're going to bank on Augustine now. I forgot that he was there, and I'm like, why the hell when I saw that trade, I'm like, why the hell are they trading Kosa? He's like a good young goalie who could develop, and I'm like, oh yeah, they have Augustine. So I'm like, all right, maybe they're going to try to infuse him into that team now. And Kosa should be, I would assume they traded for him. He should be the backup behind what's his face in Utah. Maybe, yeah. So maybe not. He's not playing as much. Give him like some rest and have Kosa get in there and get some experience.
Yeah,
it could be good. It could be good for them.
ESPN is the worst goddamn site for hockey. So literally on the next transaction line, it says New York Rangers, and it says acquired forward Pavel Dorofeyev from Vegas in exchange for 2 firsts and a third, and then it says signed Tony DeAngelo to a 2-year contract. I was like, when did we sign Tony DeAngelo? No, that was the Islanders. Freaking ESPN.
There's more than one team.
You guys suck
with New York in the name. ESPN.
Pavel Dorofeyev, which was a monster trade, and you also saw that Mason McTavish got 2 firsts. From St. Louis, Franheim. I think I would rather have Dorofeyev than Peterka or McTavish for the same deal, which is 2 first-round picks.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and than all of them.
Dorofeyev is making a lot more money than both of them.
Yeah,
he got paid.
I think that's a great acquisition, and that's along the lines of what I've been talking about. Because they have the cap space, right? So that's not really a problem. Where are you now? If nobody else moves, where are you going to the season? Cap space with that.
We have a boatload. I want to say we have maybe 20.
I can look right now. I have Puckpedia up.
15. They have 15 million, 15.6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and they might, move out some more contracts, but still, that's a good comfort. And there's really, and as far as the Rangers go, I don't think there's any reason to sign a free agent, not out of this class.
I think what they'll do is
some depth pieces probably, but I wouldn't go after and start, just like we have the cap space, let's spend it.
No,
just because, and then you get stuck with a expensive mistake. But no, Dorofeyev was 25, right? So he's the
25
perfect age for this. What I've been telling you, William, the soft rebuild. You collect players in their mid-20s, even these RFAs. You try to take them from these teams that are cap strapped because you have the cap space, and you can continue to improve your team while rebuilding at the same time. So you're still going to get these, the draft picks. So you just got with your 5th overall. But adding this, I don't know that he'll be a centerpiece to your team. He probably not.
He's the best winger we have.
This is a tremendous acquisition, I think. And as far as
a
team that
Drury did something good.
Yeah,
as far as and it didn't cost much. I mean, was it the 26th pick, which is
26th in a future? Whatever. It's a top 10 protected in 2028. So by the time you're hoping you're good, and if you're not, I mean, it is what it is. You're going to have a top 10 protected, and
gives a shit.
Yeah, I do think they're going to go after Zuccarello. I think that's a decent. He's not going to cost too much. It's a decent piece to bring in, and he obviously can help the young kids. They're talking about, going after Mario Ferraro, but there's no one out there that's really going to spend a lot of money. I mean, do we want to go and see if there's a team that has a $6 million guy that they want to shed some cap space and you can get an asset for it? Maybe you take that back, but
that's what you do. You take contracts, you take bad that's the thing with who just got traded with 50% retained?
Gallagher.
That would be Gallagher.
Yeah. Gallagher to Vancouver. But why wouldn't Vancouver just be like, we'll take the whole damn contract, give us a 2nd-round pick too? Give us something in order to take this contract instead of eating 50% of the contract, taking the player, but they gave away nothing. But still, at the same time, you could have taken the whole contract and gotten. And what is it like? What is Vancouver doing? where do they see that they're going to be next? Like, are they trying to figure this dynamic out? Are they going to go with the same roster? Are they going to try to move some players? And like adding Gallagher to this current roster is fine. I mean, he was a scratch throughout most of the playoffs, right? So he's kind of a shell of who he used to be. But that's something that like the what Dubas has been doing, which I commend him on it. I mean, granted, it's relatively new how he's kind of did this like soft rebuild. So they made the playoffs last season. They finished second in the division, which I think is pretty great. Whether they're going to replicate that, probably not. But he's still getting, like the Chinikov, paying dirt cheap, found a Chinikov. Finding these guys that are in their mid 20s ish, and then you have the Kindles and some of these other guys from Wilkes-Barre who could be coming up.
Did they qualify Chinov? Because today was the deadline for that.
Yeah, no, all of their RFAs were qualified.
They were? Okay.
Yes. But like that's a good thing. You take on a bad contract and you get paid for it. I mean, that's what Pittsburgh has. They didn't have a lot of picks in this year's draft, but the next two drafts they have the most in the NHL as far as draft picks goes, and a lot of them are first, second, and third round. So they're higher. So you take on a bad contract, like the Kevin Hayes contract. You take on a bad contract, and then if you're lucky, you take on somebody like a Beauvillier, who you signed for league minimum from a tryout contract, and then you trade him at the deadline for a second round pick because he was playing well. So it's things like that. You just keep you take on some of these guys, these like low risk guys who could potentially have decent seasons that maybe they're going to be trade assets at the deadline.
Yeah, Pittsburgh has two firsts, 5 seconds, and 3 thirds in the next two drafts.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the first 3 rounds, not counting all the other rounds.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you guys. You brought up Vancouver, and I forgot to do this in the beginning. What was your thoughts on the Malhotra? I guess first of all, his dad getting the coach, but then his son getting picked.
I said that. I think I said it last time. I'm fine with his dad coaching. I didn't want them to draft his son.
Is that a stretch? I'm not that familiar with prospects. I'm going to fully admit that. So is that a stretch where he was picked?
No.
He's about right. Top player. He's about right there, 3 or 4.
Top 5, fine. Yeah.
But
he's the best center in the draft, and he has the ability to be a number 1 center. Think of him as Matty Beniers from a few years back. He's that kind of caliber center where he can play both ways. Maybe a Nico Hischier, that kind of thing. He's not the top end center, but he's a low end number 1 center. My whole thing is you put so much pressure on both the coach and the player.
Yeah.
The moment that he plays his son in a position where other players think that they should go in, that shows favoritism. The moment that he sits his son in a time where maybe he should play him, it's going to be like, well, you did that because you didn't want to show favoritism. And then in the inevitable instance where Manny Malhotra gets fired, which all coaches have a shelf life, he will, if his team sucks in the next 2 years, he's mostly going to get canned. You don't think the son's going to be like, what the F? You just fired my dad? Like, I don't want to be here anymore?
Yeah, a lot of what ifs.
Yeah, it's what ifs.
That's what I'm saying. You don't even bother, avoid all that by not taking him. But I guess you got to take the best player who's available. And I mean, that's what they did. But yeah, I think we talked about that last week. I was against them doing that just for
if
anything.
If they took Chase Reed.
They could have took Chase Reed. Exactly. They could have taken him. That wouldn't have been surprised at all.
Would that have been a better pick, or that a stretch pick, or
not a stretch at all? But it would have been
over Malhotra.
Over him, maybe. I don't know. Chase Reed was highly regarded.
Listen, you could have Chase Reed there. You could have had Carls. You could have had Malhotra. You could have had Bjork. You could have had any of those guys, and I don't think anyone would have been like, "Oh, that's horrible."
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's not my problem, so I'm not.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to get. There's
a lot of what ifs. Yeah,
I wanted
a lot of what ifs, and
I wanted the kid to be able to forge his own path on his own team, not have to hear about, oh, his dad is he has to rely on his dad. His dad's giving him favors. That's why he was able to succeed or whatever. I wanted him to be on his own team, do his own thing, and then there'd be no. You're not going to hear anything. You wouldn't hear any noise about that, but inevitably, I think that's going to come up at one point.
Maybe his dad gets fired before he even makes it to the NHL. So
I think he could. He absolutely.
It's possible. Yeah, if this team sucks for the next 3 years, who the hell knows?
couple other trades have happened since, and just quickly on the Rangers stuff because I didn't really get a chance, I think, to get in, but yeah, brilliant trade, Dorofeyev. He will most likely play, with like a JT Miller and a wing somewhere. I think they might keep that quote unquote first line together of Perreault, Zibanejad, and Lafreniere, and it's a good all around deal. He makes $11 million per, which in a couple of years is going to be essentially $8 million or $7 million, what it is today. So it's overall good deal, and I was pretty happy about that one. We talked about McTavish, obviously going to the Blues from the Ducks for 2 firsts. I mean, good on the Ducks to get 2 firsts. I didn't know that. I know the Rangers were in on him.
They wanted that high one,
it was worth it.
They wouldn't trade it.
Yeah.
Whatever that 9th or 10th pick or whatever one they
had.
Yeah. And they refused to
11.
trade it, so they settled. Yeah, 11. So they settled for the other 2.
Yep. We had a bunch of draft picks and stuff, but then you had a couple more recent trades. Niels Hoglander went to Nashville. They got a 3rd round back. Vancouver did. Brandon Carlo, Maple Leafs got 2 3rd round picks, sending them to the Blues. And the Maple Leafs just last year.
It's so bad.
Yeah. A first and Easton, and they ship him a year later. Fraser Minton, sorry.
Yeah.
And then a year later
really
they
good
ship
season
him
for Boston. Yeah. He was like one of maybe one of their top 2
better players. Yeah.
And traded to Boston, and then the guy they get trade him away for
Carlo.
I don't know. That's why I have no confidence in everyone's like, oh, it was a one-off year for the Leafs. They'll be back next year. I don't have any confidence that they'll be back this coming season. Just like the moves that they make, the decisions they make. I don't know. And with Chaika at the helm, the guy's a friggin' he's a businessman. He's not even a friggin' GM.
Yeah.
He's like the business side of it. He's not a hockey guy.
Yeah, they had a good draft, but none of it was on Chaika. That was all on the scouting team. So we'll see.
Yeah, and how hard is it to pick the first overall?
Well, yeah, there's other guys beside that. Yeah. It was other guys besides that that were pretty talented. Boston got Ivan from Colorado.
Ivan.
John Carlson.
Ivan also.
Yeah, John Carlson going from the Ducks to the Hurricanes. They only give up a 6th.
I guarantee that they sign him.
Prospect. I was going to say I think he's going to go to free agency. I really do.
He might. I'm hoping he signs there, because if he doesn't, I'm like, crap, Tampa's going to throw money in him and probably sign him.
I think they are. I think he's going to Tampa.
Which I'd rather than not, but
yeah, I think it's a good move. It's a second power play guy to help out if you need.
I'm just tired of these old guys.
Give Hedman off. You're trying to win a championship in a non-Mickey Mouse year, Schwim. You got to pay for those kind of guys.
Oh boy.
Brendan Gallagher to Vancouver, half retained for future considerations, FCs, and then you had Radko Gudas for AJ Greer, which both are
scum for
players.
Scum.
Yep. Altogether, pretty busy trade.
Don't forget David Gustafson for Jack St. Ivany.
That was the trade of the day today. He's got like a porn star name, St. Ivany.
Yeah, he had when was it? I don't even remember what season it was. He looked really good to the point where he looked like he was going to be a mainstay, and then he just stunk. And then he got hurt, and then he stunk some more.
Is there anybody in this free agent class? I already mentioned just one guy for me, which is Zuccarello, that would interest you in any capacity for your teams, or do you think might interest another team, maybe a contender, maybe a depth piece?
I think Mantha will probably get some attention.
Yeah,
from
30 goals, right?
Year. Yeah.
He'll get career highs across the board. He's going to want, he's going to want to cash in. So
whoever's $7-8 million
going to take him.
I don't know if he'll get that much.
Going to pay.
What did he make last year on Pittsburgh?
I think he made like $1 million, I think.
Really? I don't think he's going to jump all the way up to $8 million. Unless, I don't know. Teams are crazy.
They are.
With their free agency, so I guess anything's possible. I'm curious to see if or where Line goes. I'd like to see.
Yeah, Line is
healthy
interesting, especially for a contender.
I'd like to see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Alex Tuck just got $10.5 million.
Yeah.
You know, at his age 30 season. So anything's possible.
And he's never been a point per game player, right?
Never been a point per game player. Yeah, never. Jimmy Benn, Michael Bunting, Lars Eller, Claude Giroux, Boone Jenner, Patty Kane, Anders Lee, Mantha Marchment, obviously Ivan Ovechkin, Corey Perry, Tarasenko, and Zuccarello. Those are the big names. I could see Mantha being a good piece, Line being a good piece. Anders Lee is mostly going to stay in the island.
Yeah.
You know, maybe Boone Jenner is a late, third center. It sucks. It really sucks.
This free agency is not going to be good. Hopefully, there's some trades that go down because I think that.
Here's your defenseman. Rasmus Anderson is probably the best overall free agent.
I wouldn't mind him on a short-term high.
Well, what do you think is the best player in this free agency, Steven?
Who is the best player?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I see he's probably the best player.
Rasmus Anderson? I don't think so.
In terms of age and overall, I mean, he had.
He's 30 now.
Points.
Also,
29.
Yeah, he went to Vegas, right? Was not good on Vegas. So I don't know. Is he the best of this group? Maybe. I mean, I think some of those forwards probably are going to draw more than him, but I don't know. I'm not.
I like him just for his stare downs.
Stare downs, yeah.
When he scores,
here's
he picks
here's
out
the top defenseman.
Opposing team fan. And
Anderson, John Carlson, and Jacob Trouba. So this is a pretty bad.
I think you're going to get. I think you're going to get a lot of suitors for Ryan Shea. I think he's going to get a. I think he's going to get a pretty hefty contract. Yeah, because he's around. He's 27. How old is he?
20. Yeah, it doesn't say it on here.
No matter how shitty the free agent pool is, teams are going to overpay no matter what. Yeah. Every free agent year, teams overpay. So we're going to be. I think we're going to be very surprised some of these numbers that we see.
We'll end on this one. What do you think the goalie carousel does, and what ends up going on in Florida?
I think Bobrovsky's out of there.
I think so too. Yeah, I think he's gone.
I think he's gone. And then they're just going to sign or trade.
I don't know what team's going to give him $6 million by 6. Like I don't think any team's going to do that.
Somebody stupid like Edmonton. Yeah,
could you imagine? That's so great.
You know who else? Somebody stupid like Toronto.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I can see them doing it too.
Stuart Skinner's on the market. He could go back to Edmonton. That would be very funny.
They go into the season with Edmonton and Ingram again, or whoever.
Yeah,
and release Jari.
I think Freddie Anderson ends up being in Florida. That would be my guess.
I think somebody's going to make a play for Binnington.
Yeah. Hey, do you think Hellebuck gets dealt?
Yes. He almost got dealt at the draft.
Yeah. Where to, though?
He approved it, but Winnipeg declined it because they didn't think they got enough for him.
Yeah. Where do you think he goes?
He said he was fine with it.
I don't know. He might go to Florida. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
If they can work something out, Buffalo, because he almost went there.
That was a good one.
He approved it.
He approved going to Buffalo? I don't believe it.
Yeah.
He literally approved the trade there.
Yeah, that's what Friedman said.
Which is crazy. I'm not disagreeing with you, which is crazy to me. But he was fine with it, apparently.
And then my last one would be, how many big trades do we see besides possibly Hellebuck and Larkin? What's your over-under on big name trades? I'm talking like a decent Robertson too. You have to add him, 3.
So that's 3.
I think there's still a chance, at least a chance, that Matthews does and Pedersen does.
Yeah. I'd say 4.5 is my number.
Over 4.5?
Yeah, I'd probably go over 4.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go.
I think it'll be fun.
I'd say 4 or more.
We've already had some really good ones. Like
Yeah, we have.
Seeing Dorofeyev and JJ Peterka, and one's obviously from the week before. There's been some good trades. Yeah, I'm excited. All right, I do have one more for you guys. The big thing has been, with these guys no movement clauses, what to do, how do teams combat that? And I've seen a bunch of things thrown around, but I think I liked this the best. So if a player goes to a team and says, I want to trade, and they have a no movement clause, that no movement clause automatically goes to a no trade clause, and they, at the beginning of the year, each June 1 or whatever you want to do, they submit a 10-team no trade clause. So their no movement automatically goes to no trade, and they forfeit the right to have all those other teams
request
off.
One.
If the player requests,
then it changes. Yeah, because they request.
If the team requests it, the player gets a 10% salary bonus up front right away.
I mean, I think if you're talking about like a Larkin situation where Larkin comes like, I want to be traded, I'll only go to these 3 teams, and you literally as a GM just like
Kachuk.
No.
Kachuk just literally got. Yeah. I mean, he said 4. It was really only 1. We know that it was only 1. So,
but there is nothing. There's nothing. You are under contract. They don't have to do a damn thing with you.
They could lose him in 2 years, yeah, and just that's it.
Exactly. That's good. What could happen?
But they'll never get any assets because he will only move his move clause to 1 team. So that screws the team. They will never get anything for him.
That's like a Brad Marchand also at the trade deadline where he would only accept going to Florida. It was Florida and nobody else. So that's why they only got like a 2nd-round pick for him or a 3rd-round pick, wherever the hell it was.
I think it was a conditional first. It was a 2nd conditional first that they had made the. I think actually they did get a 1st because they made the Cup final. Anyways, whatever. I like that the players have power because for the longest time players didn't have power.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But at the same time, there has to be some sort of a 50-50 movement here.
But it has to be
requesting it. I think
it has to be during contract negotiations. So management has to understand the risk. The player has to understand the risk. So it's either one, you talk to the GM and be like, listen, you talk to the player and like, you got to give me a couple other teams. But it's like, no, I'm going to 1 team and 1 team only. And that 1 team will only give you a 2nd-round pick. I'm going to hold on to him until that contract is up. And then when that contract is up, then I'll trade him for a 2nd-round pick. Like, you're going to be stuck here. Like, you got 4 or 5 more years on your contract. You're going to be here for 4 more years. Yeah, well, it might lessen. But at that point, it's like, whatever. You get what you get. But you also as a GM,
but it also makes the locker room so toxic.
Well, that's the player's fault, and if the player is going to be toxic, you're just making yourself look bad. So if you want to have, if you want to go and make the locker room shit, you have horrible numbers, your team sucks, like it's all going to look bad on you, and then your trade value is going to get worse and worse. So at some point, it might even be like, just wait out the rest of your contract, and you go back 3 years prior and be like, well, they were only going to give me a 2nd and a 3rd, so like whatever at this point. But the management has to know the risks as to you can't just like throw out full no movement clauses unless you're dead set that player is going to stay, and that's a risk of doing that. So you can't just be like, well, we're going to give you a no movement clause. Well, I mean, during the signing of the contract, you can write whatever, but there can't just be like a set in stone rule that goes to no movement clauses that can like a get out of jail free card for either management or the player. I don't think that's a good idea. I think they're both taking risks by signing long-term contracts with no movement clauses. And if you sign an 8-year contract and the team sucks and you hate it and you hate the direction that it's going, request a trade, but you can't just be like, but I'm only going to a Stanley Cup contender. And as a GM, I just feel like, well, you know what? And especially Detroit's situation, because Detroit still needs to compete. So they don't they're not in any position for a rebuild. They're not in any position to start blowing up the roster because they've been doing it for the last 15 years or however long it's been since they've been in the playoffs. So I don't know. I don't think there should be like an NHL mandated rule. I think just players and GMs need to be smarter about just handing out these contracts.
Yeah. So just quickly on the no movement clauses, in the NFL there's 0. In the NBA, there's 2. In baseball, there's 8. In the NHL, there's 287. it's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, everybody has one now. It's crazy.
And the NHL is the NHL the only league that you're guaranteed all the money, or is football the only league that doesn't?
Does baseball guarantee?
No, baseball's fully guaranteed.
Fully?
Fully guaranteed. Yeah. Basketball, I think, is one where there's actually escalators where they do have trade kickers. So I kind of like that. I like the trade kicker. Like if you're gonna trade me, give me a little bonus, and I'll accept. Right? Oh, I like that. You guys got anything else?
I like that little bonus idea. No, he loved it.
Loved it. Loved.
I am having a slight concern. This is something we could go into more on the next podcast if we want to think it over or whatever. I'm slightly concerned with this players. Now that's with the NIL, the transferring to college, and I think I think we might be seeing more of a trend of kids staying in school and just waiting to become unrestricted free agents and never going to play for the team that drafts them.
Yeah, we could talk about that. Because at one point, yes, it actually helps the players to develop and get better. Like you can see Keaton Veroff how he plays against pros, but now he could be like, I only got 3 more years of college. I'll just stay here, finish up, and then pick my team.
Maybe one Fox, Baker right? And
the Plant brothers literally were in a press conference and literally told Zam wasn't there, who's in Pittsburgh's organization. The other 2 are in Detroit's. They literally said, Zam, all he needs to do is finish out this, and then he can just sign with us. They said it all out loud. So I don't know, and you saw it again with Pittsburgh. You saw it with Cruz Lucius, who decided he was part of the Jake Gensel trade, stayed in school, and now he's going to be, I guess, whenever the college free agents whatever can sign, he's going to be eligible to sign with whatever team he wants to. So they essentially got this piece, and they could do nothing with him. Can't get an asset for him. Can't do anything. You just draft a player, and he's just gone. So there's got to be some kind of. I think there's going to be. Somewhere there's going to be some sort of security in this because this can't be good
like
for
maybe
teams.
you get like compensation for
draft pick back or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, that's what baseball does. Baseball does it actually pretty well. Where if you don't sign the player, you then get. So if you took him in the first round, you get a first round pick, but at the end, it's a compensation draft pick. So you get at the end of the first round. So technically, it's the beginning of the second round. I like that.
Like Ottawa, right? Ottawa got that.
Well, no, Ottawa had theirs in the back because of the whole thing with the cap circumvention with the trade to Vegas. And then Vegas got the dock on the second pick because of the stuff with Torts.
Right.
Yeah. What stuff?
Oh, the post-game media?
Yeah. All right. Cold Crash. Fantastic. 4.25.
It's a good one. I get this 4.5. I think I got a little left, so I might as well finish it.
Cool. I'll go 4.25.
Okay.
It's a very easy drinking beer. Only 4.5%.
Shrim, take her home.
Enjoy free agency on Wednesday. It's going to suck.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great, guys. We're going to have a good time. Not.